people telling me I can't do something has honestly been the biggest inspiration to me throughout my mature life.
How? Tell me more. It also points to a subject that we discussed with Zero the writer and Avery about how women are portrayed in the media.
Right.
And their personal experiences as artists and putting themselves out there and how they're perceived both online and offline.
Yeah, and that reminded me of when I was seeing these reports on Carlee Russell, how Avery and Zero the writer were saying, you know, that they get this attention, that women get this all attention in the media, especially when they're in trouble.
With details that are irrelevant to the case and they include them in there. Might have been the case with Carlee. This might be the way that she's being portrayed given the circumstances. I'm actually interested in hearing more about the perspective of two ladies who have been out there and their experiences as women in media. Women who have been putting themselves out there in a favorable light and how they've been perceived.
Let's listen to the second portion of the interview with Avery and Zero the writer.
Who has been that person that has propelled you forward, that has helped lift you up?
I have a lot of like self-determination, or like people telling me I can't do something or people disappointing me has honestly been the biggest inspiration to me throughout my mature life.
How? Tell me more.
When someone tells me I can't do something, I'm very stubborn, so I'm like, I'm gonna prove them wrong. Like, I once had a teacher in high school who told me the highest grade I could get in my math class was a B, so I got an A.
Nice.
Or like, I was like talking to a guy for a long time and he was just very disappointing. But that whole interaction like made me, even though I was like, he's not gonna see anything I do, I was like, I'm gonna have so much going for me that like, even if he never sees, it's like an energetic regret. So
so you had an energetic regret. I like that.
Being like, people trying to disappoint me or like put me down, I think is like my personal biggest inspiration.
For Zero, the question is, we're going back to the same question. It's like, what motivates you?
That's good. Yes, please, thank you.
I will say I'm very, very lucky that my parents have always been like supportive. Like, I do remember in high school, like I was like, Dad, Mona's my stepmom's name, shout out Mona. I was like, I want to go to school for writing. Most parents would say, you're out of your mind.
Yeah,
like,
you're gonna
no
be
way.
starving and all of this.
Ain't no way with that. And I do remember they both were like, okay, you need to figure out like a career path. Like, you can do this and you can totally, like, this can happen, especially like in high school. I graduated, I'll be so honest, I graduated with a 2.3 GPA. I was told by my guidance counselor senior year that I would most likely not be able to graduate college and I should look to a 2-year degree or some other path, because she said it would just be like a disappointment for me. I ended up graduating, I got my bachelor's when I was 20. So, and I graduated magna cum laude or whatever.
Wow.
Not to like flex, but it was very much part of that was like, you know what? Like, I had so many teachers and stuff telling me like I couldn't, but then my parents were saying, you can, you just really need to think about a career path. Then I ended up like co-founding a publishing company and all of that. And then in the midst of all that, I met my boyfriend Cameron in like 2019. Yeah. Been a while, and he was like one of the first people in my life that like I could tell like my grandparents, my parents, and my aunt and stuff. Like I would tell them about like, here's my like dreams and stuff, and they were very, very supportive. But like with my boyfriend, like I felt like I had somebody that I felt like comfortable like sharing, like, here's my idea about stuff. And like my stories are weird, like I recognize that they're like definitely a little bit different, and he has never like judge me or been like, that's weird. Because I've had some people who like, you know, they'll be like, oh, what are you writing about? And I'll tell them and they're like, that's okay. And he's like interested to hear, and he's like someone I can like bounce ideas off with. And he's always been like, yeah, you can totally do something. Even like with Fringe, I feel like I can just do stuff. I'm gonna figure out how to do this thing. So yeah, he's like the first person that I was like, oh, you don't have to like impose like I can't do something. So I've been trying to take that out of my vocabulary of what I can and can't do.
I like it because you know what? Even if sometimes you might not think that you can do it, you just try it and you're like, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't work out, or I don't do so well in the class, and at least you tried it.
Hey, thank you for listening to the Lex and Tony Show. Click on the video here to see the next part of our episode and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Don't miss out.